to Sonoma County when we set out to do that, and I think we've done that. And the 2 we have this year certainly are impressive to add to that list. But we also heard from you. We've surveyed folks every year as attendees, and the thing we heard over and over again was that yes, we love hearing about innovation and creativity from people who are living outside the area and coming to this area, but there's a lot of great things happening here locally. Some great local innovators. So we put out a call for innovators this year, and we received over 30 nominations. And we really would have loved to include every one of those. There were some amazing stories being told, and many that weren't told. But we were able to select half a dozen of those that are going to be able to share briefly their story with you today. And we have teachers, we have students, and we have community members all making their own unique impact on education as what we're calling local innovators. And I think that by hearing their collective stories, that we all can be inspired to see what impact we individually can have. So with that, I welcome you to listen to our local innovators. Thank you.
Dr. Claudia Luke is the director of Sonoma State University's Center for Environmental Inquiry. She has developed a new approach to environmental education at the university level, which engages hundreds of students across campus in environmental challenges. The initiative, called the Environmentally Ready Generation, is undertaken through business academic collaborations that link faculty and students to communities, organizations, and companies that need assistance with environmental challenges. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Claudia Luke.
Thank you very much. When I was in 5th grade, I went home and I asked my mother, what do you call somebody who studies animals? And I was already really excited about the environment. So imagine my interest and enthusiasm when I find out there's a class called biology in my junior year of high school. I go to this class and it turns out to be one of the driest, most boring classes that I took in high school. We read chapters, we memorized lists, and we dissected animals. So there was we never went outside. We never found out about local environment. And we basically didn't study life. So this is the kind of educational experience with regards to the environment that we really can't afford. The environment, the environmental challenges that are facing us today are the greatest in history. And we need to have a society that has innovators and leaders who have the kinds of skills to collaborate, who have the knowledge and the motivation to address these challenges. So fortunately, California is a leader right now in integrating a number of initiatives into education to bring environmental awareness and skills, skills that allow people to address environmental challenges into the classroom. However, these initiatives tend to be limited to K-12 education. So what happens when these students get to college? We get them there, then what happens? Do we take them on that last leg of the journey into their careers, where as a business person, or as a social scientist, or as an artist, people actually know that they need to show up and they need to engage in these global issues? So unfortunately, we're not doing that good a job. We know that when students get to college today, those students have the least personal experience with the outdoors than in any other time in history. They're spending 40 hours a week with digital media at the expense of these outdoor experiences. So then we know that once they're in college, the majority of them will not get another in-depth experience with the environment as they go on to their major. In universities, we have siloed disciplines. So the environmental scientists and maybe some geographers get to have those kinds of experiences, but not the businesses, arts, or social sciences. And then finally, we know that once those students leave college, they don't have the kinds of communication skills they need in order to undertake those kinds of societal complex issues. If you poll executives, 40% of them will say that they cannot find the kinds of college graduates they need in terms of soft skills, communication, collaboration, creative thinking, leadership, that kind of thing. So what I'd like to do today is to tell you about a new model that we're developing at Sonoma State for at the Center for Environmental Inquiry And this is a model called Nature Collaboratives. A Nature Collaborative is a multi-community organization of businesses, multi-faculty collaboration that brings students from all disciplines on campus to engage in an inquiry experience surrounding an environmental issue. And each of these nature collaboratives is organized around a broad theme. So let me give you an example of one of our collaboratives. It's called the Waters Collaborative, and it's jointly funded with Sonoma County Water Agency. In this collaborative, we have 500 students each year working on about 20 projects with a dozen or so community members on real-world questions that are happening in our community. So examples, we have biology and engineering science students who are working with a winery to install new technology that filters water at the same time it generates electricity. We have performing arts students who are creating new plays on local watershed issues. And we have political science students that are surveying community members to better understand our perspectives on water conservation. So each of these projects engages a community member who has a need, a business person, a nonprofit, and also the faculty and the students to undertake that question as part of their coursework. And the key to this success is a collaborative lead. It's somebody who works on communication and project development and builds long-term relationships to make this kind of broad-scale program happen. So let me just tell you a few ways that I think this program is really innovative. The first is that it applies best practices. We know over the last couple of decades, there's been all this research to find out how do people learn best. They learn best by doing inquiry, open-ended inquiry with real people, with community partners. We can apply that. The second is that it identifies and addresses the barriers that we're having towards undertaking that kind of experiences. And the greatest barriers that we have to undertaking real-world questions are expertise, time, and logistics. And this is something that you just need a person to dedicate some time to overcome. And the third way that it's particularly innovative, of course, is that it's cross-disciplinary. You're getting people with all this different expertise and experience to come together and put their heads together and come up with a solution to some of our key challenges. I think the model is also particularly powerful in that it has the potential to reach every student that's on campus, can expand across all majors. It can also be implemented right away. We don't have to restructure our universities. We can add this additional component to engage everyone. And then finally, it's also a model that can be easily expanded to other universities throughout the state. Universities often have natural protected areas. They often call them field stations or preserves or reserves. And many, these natural areas are a perfect home administratively for these kinds of nature collaboratives. So the students who go there can have these unique personal motivational experiences, and they can also understand how their interests in business or social sciences or the arts can have an application to environmental issues. So Sonoma State has 4,200 acres of preserves in 4,200 acres in 3 preserves, and has begun this process already of expanding and increasing student activities on those preserves. And we're blessed in California by having the largest network of university field sites in the world through the UC and the CSU system. I think Sonoma County is also a perfect place to pilot this project. Sonoma State is dedicated to community engagement and innovation and education, and the county itself is a world leader, well, at least a national leader, in the environment and in collaboration and innovation surrounding environmental issues. But I think also the most important innovation is actually what happens to our students. Are we changing students' lives? Are we giving them motivation? Are we giving them the communication skills? Are we helping them to understand that they should be applying their skills to environmental challenges? And right now, we have students who started a project in a class. The class is over, and they're continuing to work with that community partner on their projects. So these are really motivational experiences. And with that, I'll just close with 4 quotes from different students who've been through our programs. This experience has brought out a desire for learning in me that I didn't think I had. This new perspective makes me want to teach others about what I know. A lot of the skills I learned have been helpful in my professional career. There's nothing at the university like it. Thank you.